The butterfly keyboard. In 2015, Apple redesigned the keyboards across its entire MacBook lineup, replacing the traditional scissor switch mechanism with something they called the butterfly switch. The logic made sense on paper. Flatter keys, more stability, thinner laptop. But in practice, the design left almost no internal clearance. A single crumb, a small piece of dust, anything at all landing beneath a key could cause it to stop registering entirely, repeat inputs on its own, or get stuck mid-press. What made this especially bad is that the keyboard was physically fused to the top case of the laptop, meaning a broken key wasn't just a keyboard repair. It meant replacing the battery, the trackpad, and the whole upper assembly, all from a speck of dust. Apple shipped this design across multiple generations, made minor tweaks that didn't fix the core problem, and only reversed course in 2019 after lawsuits and the repair program forced their hand. For a company built on its reputation for premium hardware, this was a fairly spectacular miss. AirPower. In 2017, Apple announced a wireless charging mat called AirPower alongside the iPhone X. The concept was simple and genuinely impressive. A flat pad you could place any Apple device on, iPhone, AirPods, Apple Watch, anywhere on the surface, and it would start charging. No alignment needed. To pull this off, Apple engineered a mat with dozens of overlapping charging coils that needed to detect, communicate with, and selectively activate around multiple devices at once. The problem with heat. That many coils running simultaneously generated interference that Apple's own prototypes couldn't manage. They kept overheating. Performance was inconsistent. Apple had already shown it on stage. The product had already been marketed as coming soon. And then, in March 2019, they quietly announced it was canceled. Not delayed, canceled, because it couldn't meet their standards. It remains the most prominent case of Apple announcing something it simply couldn't build. Batterygate. In 2016, Apple pushed a software update to iOS 10 that changed how older iPhones managed performance. The stated reason was technical and not unreasonable. As lithium-ion batteries age, they lose the ability to handle sudden power demands, which can cause a phone to shut down unexpectedly. To prevent that, Apple software began throttling CPU performance during peak loads on devices with degraded batteries. The problem wasn't the decision, it was the silence around it. Users started noticing their iPhones felt sluggish after updates in ways that were hard to ignore. Slower app launches, less responsive scrolling, a general sense that something was off. The backlash was immediate, and the lawsuits followed. Apple eventually acknowledged the behavior, added a battery health screen, and let users disable throttling. Around 2019, Apple introduced something called parts pairing, a software-level system that links key hardware components directly to a device's logic board. Screens, batteries, cameras, Face ID modules, each one gets a unique identifier that the phone checks whenever that component is installed or replaced. If the identifier doesn't match Apple's internal records, the system flags it. Not with a crash or a failure, but with warnings: battery health grayed out, Face ID permanently disabled, even if the part itself is in perfect condition. Siri. When Siri launched with the iPhone 4S in 2011, it was genuinely ahead of anything else available. A voice assistant that could understand natural language, set reminders, send messages, and answer questions felt like something from a different era of technology. That perception gave Siri a ceiling that turned out to be very hard to maintain. Over the following decade, competitors, particularly Google Assistant, moved fast and improved continuously. Siri's fundamental architecture, however, remained largely unchanged. Follow-up questions confused it, complex tasks got redirected to web searches. Apple's internal reasoning for this was actually coherent. They prioritized on-device processing and minimized how much user data was sent to external servers, which limited the training data available to improve the model. The AI autocorrect. In iOS 17, Apple replaced its existing keyboard autocorrect with an AI-driven model. The older system was dictionary-based and rule-driven. predictable, occasionally frustrating, but fundamentally consistent. The new system was supposed to improve on all of that through language modeling, understanding context, predicting whole phrases, catching mistakes earlier. And there were moments where it worked well, but the core behavior became unreliable. Words that were correctly typed got replaced. Sentences got partially rewritten mid-flow. The system would override a user's intended input because it had its own idea of what should come next. The fundamental contract of autocorrect, fix typos, leave correct text alone, was quietly broken. The Photos app redesign. In iOS 18, Apple completely restructured the Photos app. The previous design had been largely consistent for years. Clear tab navigation at the bottom, albums as a dedicated space, a predictable hierarchy. iOS 18 replaced all of that with a single vertically scrolling feed. Library, memories, albums, people, featured photos, everything is stacked into one continuous surface. And technically, the argument for this design exists. But when an app that millions of people have used the same way for years changes its fundamental layout, the technical argument doesn't matter much to the person who now has to scroll past memories to find their albums. Muscle memory is a real thing, and Apple dismantled it here without a compelling reason that users could feel. Apple Intelligence. In 2024, Apple unveiled what it called Apple Intelligence, an AI system deeply embedded across iOS, macOS, and iPadOS. On stage, it looked genuinely impressive, a version of Siri that could read your screen, understand what was happening across your apps, and take multi-step actions without you having to repeat yourself. Writing tools, image generation, smarter notifications, personal context awareness. And Apple tied all of it explicitly to the iPhone 16 as a core reason to upgrade. But the Siri that was shown on stage, the one that could control your apps, read your emails in context, and act as an actual AI layer, wasn't. Apple quietly confirmed that those features were delayed, with some pushed into 2025 or later. For a company that's built its reputation on products that just work, shipping a half-finished AI system as the headline feature of a product cycle and then going largely quiet about it is a different kind of failure.